Welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast, where we discuss and analyze your favorite marble sports. From JMR Marble League to I'll Go Do tournaments, we'll make sure you never miss the action. All marble sports, all the time, right here on the MSW Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Worldwide Podcast. I didn't feel like saying those words. My name is Brennan.
And I'm Commander Wolf.
Good enough.
I don't have many words to fumble with.
Yeah, you only got one simple line. So when I go nuts with the amount of words, when I try to really play off that, you're kind of sitting there being like, what can I do with
Exactly.
Basically. But anyway, guys, we are here. We have marbles to discuss. I will say this. So I remember a while ago I was talking about how me and my friend, we ranked every Mario Kart song worst to best. We are back ranking every 3D Mario song worst to best, which is just incredible. It's incredible. The best part about it, like the first time I did it, when I did it for the Mario Kart songs, it was like, all right, I saw videos of people doing rankings, and I, because I was at work and I was just putting on long music playlists to listen to, so I'd listen to like top 200 Mario Kart songs that would get me through like a full couple days. And I was upset with the rankings. I was like, I think some of these rankings are bad, and there's so many good songs that are just omitted or put in the wrong place, in my opinion. So I was like, oh, I should make a ranking and then make it into a video. Eventually, I probably will release a ranking video, but whatever. So that was the point that first time, because I was like, I just don't like these rankings. But then I had that bright idea about halfway through the Mario Kart rankings of like, oh, I'm going to put all the best songs, the top of each ranking that I do. Because I also did two smaller soundtracks that have less than 100 songs, along with the Mario Kart one. So I had my three favorite soundtracks, and I was like, oh, I'll just take the top half of each of these lists, so the top third, and make a little playlist. So now I was like, okay, well, what if I do more songs and discover all the best music from each of these other categories, and then they can make a fire banger OST playlist. So now we're doing 3D Mario songs, and I'll tell you what, there are truly banging songs in the 3D Mario world, and I am so excited to actually have this list where we've done every game but Odyssey, every 3D Mario game but Odyssey, which of course has so many good songs because it's like one of the newer games, and man, some of those songs are crazy. But there are just so many good songs where I'm like, I would listen to these a lot. Like, for anyone who knows the new Bowser's Fury game, some of those songs, like when you hear them in the game, you're like doing all the in-game noises and like focusing, so you don't like really listen to them as much. They're like nice, but you don't really hear them. So, where they have like the death metal vibe for the Bowser's Fury song, man, that song is incredible. Obviously some of the staff credits for 3D World, I went nuts about. I don't know. It's been kind of wonderful doing that, and I've made a really fun playlist for when I'm just at work and I need to get work done. Because sometimes I'll put a stream on in the background, and just watch like a live stream or listen to something like a podcast. Because if I'm doing work that's more mindless, I don't have to move as fast. But if I have to get work done, I gotta go music playlist. I just grind, right? So I don't know. It's been a wonderful day, and dude, a playlist now over 300 songs long, just only bangers, man. Dude, the worst song on that playlist is Pleasant. Right? It's pleasant to listen to.
Huh.
The name of the song is not Pleasant. It's just pleasant.
So I feel like you mean it's called Pleasant?
As soon as I saw your face being stupid and confused, I was like, I'm going to explain that. But, yeah, the best songs are just crazy, but even the worst songs are amazing. I'll have to post that. I'll have to really spread that playlist around at some point. But, yeah, so that's recent. Also, I almost hit my goal. I've almost hit my goal of 190 pounds. I was like between 150 and 160, like I was saying. Or like I was around 160 in January, beginning of January, and now I'm almost 190. 30 pounds in 9 months is bananas, man. I'm like a different man. So I'm trying to hit that goal. I'm 5-6 pounds away, I think. So that's kind of my life update. And I want to get there because, like, I'm already looking so different, and I just want to get to 6 pounds just so I can say I hit 190. I hit my goal. And I got about a month and a week to do it. So I'm wishing myself the best on that, honestly.
Well, good luck with that, man.
Thanks, Mr. Waff.
Yeah, it's just my life, also somewhat music related. Like, I've been working on that archive for Symphonica that I've been talking about a few times. I've technically finished recording everything, but, like, the last two charts, I want to go back and record one because I think I need to get a higher combo value for the ending, but also, too, like, years ago, and I mean years ago, I swear I saw, like, basically whenever you get a high enough combo in the game, like, an effect affects the whole band, and, like, they changes with each combo, like, stage. I swore that a long time ago I saw them turn blue, but, like, I've never been to. I got in this, like, the highest combo in the game is like 663. I've gotten to 603 and nothing has changed. Blue hasn't shown up, so it's like I have to get a full combo on the longest song, because if I don't, I will never know if I am just imagining things or if it really is there. Like, it's like, did I make this up? Is this not real? Have I been living a lie?
You probably saw it, man. You couldn't have imagined it. You can't imagine blue.
The thing, there's only three charts in the whole game that are over 600 in their combo value. Two of them I never gotten close before it, so I didn't achieve it myself. I must have seen it on YouTube. But this game is so underground that I've seen, like, there's only like a few dozen videos on YouTube about the game that aren't mine, and I've checked, and none of them have what I'm looking for. So either it was there and it got taken off of YouTube, or it's still there, but it's so buried somehow that no matter what I type, I can't find it.
That's so funny, man, dude. I hope you can. I hope you have that moment where you actually achieve perfect combo and then see the blue and then freak out. That's a gaming moment.
That's what I'm prepared. I was like, okay, if this happens, I gotta maintain my composure, because if I screw it up, then I lose the combo, and it's like only there for a split second, so I gotta be careful.
Dude, that's the life of gaming, man. You live for that single moment. Dude, I mean, same with like different jump adjust, but same idea. I'll spend weeks, and in one case, 2 years and about 3 different fingers to finally get to the one moment of actually being able to beat a level, and like the reaction, that 3 minutes of like pure dopamine is just, there's nothing better. I walk around happy every time I beat something new hardest.
So like the combo multiplier is like for the effects that change, like 10, then 20, then 50, 100, 200. And then it's a 200, it's been the same effect all the way up to 600. Which leads me to feel like maybe it's not there, but the thing is, the 3 charts I have over 600, one of them was in the base game, but the other 2 were in the final song pack in the game's last update. So maybe it's like, since they made them so long, it's like, we'll put in an extra effect, even though it's only gonna last like maybe a few seconds, because of like the max combo in one of them is 633, the other one's 663. It's like if the multiplier, it probably would happen at 650. So it's like it wouldn't be there very long if it is in the game.
Dude, so you have to try. You have to see.
I
want you to at least go for it. Yeah.
I'm going for it. If I don't do it, it will bother me to the day I die.
it's bothered you for 4 minutes of this intro, so
you
better get on. It's
bothered me all this afternoon.
I'd love to hear the progress in future episodes. Anyway, all that being said, guys, we got news, and then we got an episode full of Marble related things. So let's go hit that, and we'll see you on the other side of the news.
Marble Sports fans! I'm Commander Wolf, here with the Marble Sports Worldwide News. Oh boy, there is so much to go over in just this one race, so strap yourselves in. GP11 of Marbula 1 Season 3, the Midnight Bay, is a classic track that we all know and love, and it was largely unchanged, save for the addition of the 4-lane turn from the previous race. However, this would prove to be at the course's detriment, as at the very beginning, with all the marbles clumped together, Minty Fresh ended up getting stuck. The officials tried to dislodge them with a safety marble, but there was a gate malfunction. As a result, Shimmer ended up colliding with them to get them loose, sending them back in the standings, much to their dismay. Despite being lapped though, Minty Fresh still was very much a part of this race, as they were giving the lead marbles a really hard time. While there were a few other marbles who led near the beginning of the race, the main two were Iceberg and Mimo. And boy, this is the closest race we've seen in this season, and honestly, one of the closest races we've seen in Marbula 1 ever. There were several times where Mimo and Iceberg would swap back and forth, and Minty Fresh would get in between them, causing them to have an extra obstacle to try and overcome in order to get back in the lead. This fight continued all the way down to the very last lap. And after a brilliant overtake exiting the tunnel, Mimo ended up taking first, followed by Iceberg in second and Mallard in third. Though I imagine Iceberg was disappointed they didn't get the gold, they should be very proud of the race that they gave. Looking at the individual standings, the only real change is that Orangin has taken first place over Red Eye. However, this is because Orangin has one more race over Red Eye, so they're not in the clear just yet. As a matter of fact, all 6 marbles from the last race are still in contention here, so definitely keep your eye on them. In the team standings, things have narrowed down tremendously. Now, only 2 teams remain who can win this season, the O-Rangers and the Crazy Cat's Eyes. Will our reigning champs defend their title and become the first repeat champions of Marbula 1? Or will the O-Rangers achieve their very first Marbula 1 victory? With only an 11-point gap, it's sure to be an intense race, so do not miss this finale. Well, that's all the news. Thank you for listening. I'm Commander Wolf. You are the best fans in the world. Let's kick it on back with the podcast.
All right, guys, we are thirsty. Back from the news. Thirsty during that sentence.
Dude, that gulp. Oh
we
my
are
god.
Thirsty. Back from the news, everybody. Thank you, Waft Marble, for doing the news. All right. We're going to kick off an email so we hear what Adu has to say. Okay? MSWpodcast@gmail.com. Email in. Please, talk. Also, Marble League's coming soon, so for all the people that come out of the woodwork for Marble League, let's get going with that. Let's start preparing our hearts for that. There's going to be fantasy leagues coming back out. There's going to be a lot of very close analysis. I don't know. That was in my search bar. Okay, but there's going to be a lot going on in that regard. So definitely be ready to hit that hard when that comes, because there's going to be a lot there. There's going to be a lot there for Marble League. This is going to be a pivotal year, I believe, in Marble League as well, because as we talked about midway through this Marbula 1 season, it seems like things are shifting. Savage Speeders are not important anymore. Well, not forever, but at least in this season. You know, other teams are coming out of the woodwork showing they have potential. Who knows what's going to happen? Are the Savage Speeders going to come out and kind of reclaim their position, kind of put an end to all this new age nonsense, or is it going to really shift in a different direction? I think this Marble League will decide that more than this Marbula 1 will. And I think that it's going to be just an unexpected Marble League. I couldn't imagine who would win. I couldn't imagine really who will be, because we already had 2 Savage Speeder victories. We've already had a lot of veterans have their shot in it, and it's just hard for me to imagine who's going to come out strong this year. I mean, I didn't even think Mellow Yellow was going to win last year. So,
yeah.
Prepare your hearts, prepare your minds, prepare your analytical brains for this coming year's weird autumn Marble League, by the way. Unexpected autumn Marble League, which is not likely usually for JMR, usually summer or winter, but weird choices by the channel. All right, Adu has an email. Let's get started. Adu says, a great but flawed race. In terms of excitement on track, there's no doubt Midnight Bay delivered the best action, with battles going on everywhere and Team Momo's podium drought ending with a winner. Overtake out of the tunnel on the last lap. Okay. The track didn't need changing. Bringing back the clear bridge was enough. And I like how they put that little kind of connects protector on it so no marbles would fall off or anything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of surprising that the new layout offered so many passing points. Sad to see this track may be on risk as the Wisps are tanking and may even be passed by the Pinkies, who, well, the Pinkies have been crazy lately. However, Mini Fresh and Dash were swapped on the starting grid, with the Maniac getting stuck on the quad split entry. I don't think they stopped because of the swap. It has to do more with track design. You bet it has to do with track design. Can't wait to get into that, guys, right? Unfortunate to see this not being caught by the stewards here of all races, but I believe this issue will be addressed soon. I do think it will be addressed soon. Let's talk about it, dude.
We'll see.
Thoughts?
Yeah. Well, so there's something that I really should mention. Like last episode in the live chat, and there was someone called Algosonic Racing who said, like, what if the marbles got stuck in the 4-way lane, like the 4-lane, like the Muller corner?
Speak of the devil.
And you didn't like acknowledge them with like arrows like pointing like this in the chat. But, like I was gonna say like, what is this really? But I was like, you know what? This is so unlikely. It's not even worth bringing it up. I'm eating my own thoughts here.
You're eating your
They were
thoughts.
so right. They were so right. They took get stuck. I thought like, oh no, it's slanted enough. No matter what happens, they'll be able to roll down. No, they were totally right. Like because it was so early in the track and they're all bunched together going slow, it was like they just got stuck. And it's like that's a real concern, and I didn't consider it once.
No, you did not. I will say this. I mentioned last week that it seemed to me that the supposed Muller corner pathways, because we did comparison, in JMR's video, in JMR's setup, were barely wider than a marble length, a marble width, I guess in this case. While the ones in RML were way wider than a marble width and really were just different paths. I mean, they weren't like just that narrow. And I said that can cause problems. Now, the problem it caused in the previous race last week was that marbles would, and this happened, of course, in this race this week too, was that marbles would bounce off the guides. They would not have clean entries. They didn't have that clean, crisp swing around the Muller corner like you see in RML. They had this kind of bouncy and jagged and then inconsistent run through the turns. It almost looked like, those tracks would have worked better for 14 millimeter marbles, but they had to kind of make it work with 16. That's how it felt. Even though they made them for 16, it feels like they should be for 14 or lower. And so you see this kind of it's like forced entry. Forced entry, it might be the best way to say it here, of marbles as they try to get into those pathways, almost better off just avoiding the pathways completely. And just trying to bounce through them, and then they're in and out, they're rubbing on the sides, they're all inconsistent. Man. And then the worst happens, then a marble gets stuck in this marble width track.
Not even in, above it.
Yeah, stuck on top. Because they're not wide enough. And I just don't understand what lack of testing with all that time they have must have gone into that to be able to actually make that mistake.
Well, I think it's more like how inclined it is, because like I think they were stuck at on top of one of the dividers, not in the lane itself. So like I don't think they expected a marble to get stuck at that spot because it was too thin. It's like there's no way this is gonna happen, right? Surely not.
Take a look. Let's take a look.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't actually in the lane.
Let's take a look and see. By the way, is that true? Did they put Mini Fresh wrong in the starting grid? So Mini Fresh was 17, so supposed to be left. And where did they start? So
there was supposed to be so Minty Fresh and it was Dash. Like they're both one place apart from each other, and in the starting grid you'll see they swapped them. They are.
Oh yeah, so Mini Fresh is supposed to be one forward because she's 17, not 18. Yeah.
Right.
So
and
on
this
the Ford
could affect.
stagger.
Who knows what would have happened? Would a different marble have gotten stuck?
Butterfly
Would no
effect,
marble
right?
gotten stuck? Who knows?
Who knows? But like neither here, whether a marble gets stuck or not, there's bad track design involved here. And we're gonna try to see this here if we can. Let's see. So Mini Fresh is in the back here coming out. She's about She's in third to last place here. She weaves through the first couple of chicanes. Try to paint the picture a little bit for you. She kind of loses visual on the camera because of the grid for a second there.
Right.
And then she's in last place completely. And then look how they come in the Mulla corner. Oh, I didn't really see it. Wait, we have to go back. It kind of gets lost in the visual there. You see that?
Yeah, like there's just so many marbles there that like they couldn't get through, and so they lost all their momentum.
I'm trying to see. I mean, it might have been on the track just out of view. I'm trying to see. We don't really get a nice picture on it, which is just perfect, JMR, isn't it?
I like that you do. It's a difference between it being integrated in the track and being placed.
I can't see it. I can't see it. Yeah, I think it's stuck on that path just outside view. Can we see it in the? No, I can't see it.
You'll see it. You'll see it in a later shot, like
yeah,
when they're coming back to it.
Yeah, but like I wanted to see if I could see the actual action of it happening, because that would have been interesting. But unfortunately, we cannot. But so I mean, we'll take a look. Of course. Oh yeah, Mini Fresh right there at the entrance looks like stuck. Not like couldn't even get into the entrance. You see?
Yeah, because like I think what happened was like they were so bunched up with all those marbles that like they just got lost all their momentum and they got stuck on top of the divider.
And then yeah, so no, it looks like they got stuck. It might not even be on the tracks, but on that lip. Because if you look at the pan over on the track, there's like an extra
lip,
there's like an extra little like I think they have an extra little like cardboard piece or whatever it is underneath the track lines to kind of place that special piece, but like you can place it anywhere. And they didn't pat it down enough because it looked like it had a little upward, so maybe it got stuck there or got stuck just at the beginning of like hit off the cardboard railings and got stuck. I don't know what it is, but they got stuck at the beginning. Though I do think whether they got stuck inside the lanes or not, I still think the lanes are too narrow, and we talked about that last week without even this happening yet. But it also, yeah, Mini Fresh got stuck in there. Now, I mean, that's true. There's no getting around that. That happened. The thing is, there's a lot more problems that's going to come from that. I mean, not to mention just whatever that they may messed up the starting grid. I mean, how do you mess up the starting grid? I mean, whatever. I mean, I guess just whatever. Right? I mean, I guess we have to let that go.
They're somewhat similar in color, kind of. Maybe like
no, they're not somewhat. Dude, I'm colorblind and I can tell the difference.
Wait, you're colorblind?
A little bit. Okay, episode 135. Yes. Okay, a little bit.
I
just
didn't know that.
Enough that it does affect certain situations. Like a weak deuteranopia I am. So like mild deuteranopia. So like certain colors like reds, grays, greens can sometimes in certain lights look the same to me. Purples and dark blues, it goes in and out. It's not a big deal. I can see the colors fine, but I will say the colorblind setting on my computer for mild deuteranopia works like a charm. I like it. So
nice.
That is tangential. That is tangential here though, because the point being that otherwise, at this point, we kind of almost gloss over the fact that JMR messed up the starting gate because they're just so prone to make a mistake every race. We're like, okay, that's JMR's normal one mistake. We'll give it to them. Well, you messed up the starting gate, whatever. 17, 18, same number. Dash and Mini Fresh, same marble. Who cares, right? Mess up the starting gate, not my problem. Okay, so we'll give them that one. But then this, and I just don't understand the whole process that happened after Mini Fresh got stuck. So after Mini Fresh got stuck, all the other marbles continued, of course, because they're like, I don't care, I want to win, right? You know, Shimmer was like, man, I know I'm gonna come around the next lap and run into this freaking guy. But I'll keep going for now because I don't know what to do. I'm sure Shimmer was like that, and you know what? That's exactly what happened, and that's super unfortunate. Imagine being in first place. You find, and you know what? You know what's unfortunate? If you watch this race, if you watch that first lap, let's kind of scroll back to it here. And you take a look at the breakaway that Shimmer has here. First of all, what a wonder! Did you see the pass that Shimmer made on Pinky Panther in that first turn? Do you see that? Can we go back and see that? I hope you guys are on the YouTube with me. Oh my God! What a pass! An outside line, just speed-based pass. You don't see those often. Usually there's some sort of agility required. Dude, just fast on the outside line, right around Pinky Panther. Absolutely textbook. So it comes around. So the wonderful thing here is that Shimmer gets a huge breakaway. We're about 3 seconds into this race, and you see here, I'm pointing at my screen. I wish I had one of those like arrow, like I got like laser point or something. Dude, there's about 2 track lengths, or at least 1.5 track lengths between Shiver and Cerulean, the second place at this point.
Shimmer.
And it just...
Not Shiver.
I said Shimmer. And it just kind of...
I heard
it
Shiver.
stays that way. So through the tunnel, still about that 1.5 track lengths, they come around toward the bridge. It kind of closes a little bit with Mocha getting in the action, but now Mocha's kind of also creating the separation. So it's just one marble, and then back another length, back another length to even 3, 4, 5. So Mocha's in the mix, but then some gap there. And then it closes a little bit as we get back to the slower section, of course. But Shimmer had a pretty good lead, a pretty solid lead, and then just nothing. And it's so unfortunate because he just knocked. It's almost like playing like billiards, cue ball into like another target ball. Just knocked Mini Fresh right through, and is just gone for a while. It's amazing that he didn't get stuck there the rest of the race, and it's just unfortunate because of how much of a jump Shimmer, who doesn't usually get these opportunities, gets off to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it's compounded by like something that maybe was not necessarily in their control. Like the gate for the safety marble failed, so they couldn't even release a safety marble to get Minty Fresh unstuck, which wouldn't be guaranteed, but at least then there was a chance that Shimmer wouldn't have to take the bullet.
Yeah, I want to go back to the safety marble here. Let's talk about it. So what was said here?
There was a gate malfunction, so I'm assuming wiring or like the signal from probably a button press wasn't working, and so they couldn't open the gate to release it.
Let's read it. So, safety marble will not be deployed. Gate issue. That is massively frustrating. I don't like. I'm trying to love JMR here, but I really don't like that. I mean, I don't understand how that happens. I don't understand if I'm JMR, and I'm recording, and this happens, I'm stopping and rerunning the race. I'm not even telling anyone. Listen, when saying that now and knowing that might knowing the information we have now and saying that, you might be like, oh my god, well that's blah, 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 blah. You can't not tell us, blah. You couldn't just rerun the race. But you know what? Listen, in most cases, I would say to be an honest Marble Sports creator, you should never rerun races. Right? You should never be like, okay, I'm gonna stop. I don't like how it's going. I'm gonna restart. Because, you don't want to actually affect the marbles. You don't want to actually create a situation where all marbles didn't have a fair chance. And you don't want to rerun for a certain result. You don't want to seem like a Fubega. You don't want to lend a hand, right? But
yeah, you just what about a red flag? Like, you would say a red flag would have been okay?
Well, we'll get there. I believe in certain situations, the discretion of a Marble Sports creator is very, very necessary. If I was a Marble Sports creator in this situation, I would be like, okay, safety marble didn't deploy. We're barely a lap in. And then when I see Shimmer, who's very much holding a nice lead, lose like 7 places because he played pool with Minty Fresh, I mean, well, then I'm done. I'm restarting. And that's never hitting the news. That's not hitting anyone's ears except my own. That's not hitting anyone else's eyes except my own. Because I know as a Marble Sports creator, that is a ridiculous thing to upload. It's a ridiculous thing to do. And it's not, you could say, oh, well, you got to run the first race and just go with it. Well, I mean, in this case, there's those very special cases that Marble Sports creators should have discretion so that we don't even know that this was the first race. Because while the race was wonderful, Mimo, Pinky Panther, really fun to watch them battle. Iceberg in there. I can't help but think that this really hurt certain marbles, even though it was genuine first time. I can't help but think Shimmer deserved a fair chance. If you want to talk about red flags, I think that that's an alternative to just throw a red flag out there and be like, all right, safety marble failed, Marble stuck. Let's throw a red flag. But there's a lot of and listen, this more really floats over to the other podcasts now because they always love to talk about flags. I'll tell you what, they're big into flags, all colors. This gets into
what?
now. I feel like every time there's a flag, it's a whole episode on BGBT.
Wait, when was the last time you listened to an episode? Because I don't remember them. I mean, admittedly, there hasn't been a flag in a while, so I can't remember.
No, I feel like whenever there's a mishap, like a mishap at the beginning of a race, a flag or something like that, it's a whole episode where they just go on and on. I feel that that's true because I feel like that happened, like when because they spent a lot of time on that qualifier mishap that we just kind of skipped over, that red flag with red eye. Remember that? And we like skipped it over, and they were like, "That's a big deal," and then we're going on and on about it. And then and that was the thing where they also talked about rapidly, and then he yelled about rapidly for a while. Remember that?
Like I know Term did, but it's been, dude. It's been a while since I've listened because like I've been so busy. I haven't listened to a lot of my podcasts. I need to get back to that, but like I can't confirm. I think they definitely. I can't remember. It's been too long. I'm sorry, Term. Like, I normally defend you here. I just can't remember right now. I wish I've been keeping up more recently.
Okay, well that's fine. Well, my point here is that usually we're not the ones to get too crazy with the flags, but there's a lot of members of the community that really know and stick to the rules of flags. Flags can't just be thrown. Flags can't just be like, all right, here's a red flag because we don't like how the race is going, right? Because it has to be.
Like there's precedent.
There has to be foundation for the choice. If you threw a red flag here, you'd hear it from half the community that pays attention still. 50,000 views now only on this video, by the way. But half the community would be out and being like, red flag, red flag. You only throw red flag when blah, 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 blah. You know, and it would just be that forever. And so... I mean,
that'd be kind of fair, because like in precedent, like when a marble got stuck in a previous race, they didn't red flag it. They let a marble dislodge them, like i.e. Savage Speeders with the Midnight Wisps in Season 1. They only pulled a red flag when like either a major or all marbles stopped, like the Razway in Season 2.
Yeah, so red flags are more extreme situations, and yellow flag didn't do it. If you want to tell me that this was the appropriate way to deal with this, you can't have the safety marble not deploy, because what? For what reason? If it was chosen for drama, then that is just stupid. Okay, if this was a choice, like, oh, we're going to purposely not let it deploy because we like the drama of it, that is not well chosen. If it was actually stuck...
I just realized, maybe, like you're making me think about things in a more meta direction. Like, what if it's like they forgot to do it, and it's like, oh, shoot. What do we do? Well, let's just say that there was a malfunction in post. They'll like it could be that either one, there was a real malfunction, or two, like they forgot to do it and they had it, but then just say that we'll just say that there was a reason we didn't do it.
I mean that's all well and good, but like I mean that kind of reasoning makes a lot more sense if you don't have any time. I mean, they just put one lap in. Just reset the cameras and start again. And don't tell anyone. And remember, again, I'm not supporting that in most cases, but in this very specific case, when you have a marble who it has ability to dominate first place, has a great start, wonderful set of racing through the first lap, and then is just completely sidelined for the rest of the event, because not only was the track not made correctly with the terrible Muller corners, it's a really atrocity of bootleg Muller corners, plus the fact that the safety marble was not, for whatever reason, not set up correctly, not deployed correctly, ignored, forgotten, whatever it is, that's bad on them, and they should have recognized it and been like, okay, we need to make sure other marble has a fair chance. And they didn't do that. And I feel like in all cases, in this case, a silent, unknown rerun was the best way to go. Rare, but based, in my opinion, in this case. If you don't think so, I mean, again, email in. I'd like to hear your take on it, but I just think that it has to be. I mean, come on. You can't leave this like this. Should have lost 7 places.
You're not wrong. It's just like I can see your points. It's just like based on precedent, I don't think it should have. And like ultimately, if that happened, there's a chance we wouldn't have had that close race we did. And like, I don't even like, I'm not even saying that because like I'm a Momo fan. I mean, like, I just wanted a really close race because we hadn't had one of those like really at all this season, especially this back half. This like this is the first time, like this is the closest race we've had this season and one of the closest races we've had in the entirety of M1, dude. Like, it was so intense. Like Minty Fresh definitely should have gotten at least one blue flag in there with how much interference it did, but it added to the drama. It's like, sometimes they would hold Iceberg back, then they'd hold Mimo back. And it's like, how is Mimo going to do it? Like, on the last lap, Mimo gets around for interaction. It's like, I'm going to pass you, Iceberg, and he gets it, and like, right in the last lap. It's like, that was the most intense back-and-forth racing we've seen for the lead this entire season!
Okay, wow.
I'm sorry. It was so good. Dude.
For a second,
Like when like during the race, I was like screaming and cheering. I was like, "Yes, go Mimo, go!"
I mean, logically, I mean, you could have had the same intensity without a lapped marble in the mix. I mean, that's
sure, but how we know that the closest of that race would have occurred again if they reran it? That's
I don't know about the closest of the race, but I know Shimmer should have had a chance to be in the closeness. You know, he deserved an opportunity to be there. Just because Momo's up there doesn't mean we can just be like, all right, well, we love Momo. I mean, come on, Wuff.
Well, Momo got screwed over last race because of their own failures
well,
with the
that's
boosters.
not
so
appropriate.
You know what? I do feel bad for this. I feel bad for the Swarm. I do. I really do. But man, if we reran it, and it was just another runaway lead race, I would have been so bored.
It didn't look like it was heading that way.
But we don't know. That's the thing. You don't know.
You don't know, but you can't just say it didn't deploy and then just let it be. You can't do that.
Let it be, let it be, let
you
it be.
Can't. That's not, to me, that's unpreparedness that they're just letting go. They want us to gloss over. They want us to be, oh my god, a funny story, no safety marble. I mean, that's not fair to a lot of marbles. Any Shining Swarm fan, any Mocha fan, got caught up in there for a second. I mean, those fans, and also any other fan who just had a bad finish, the race could have been completely different. If, first of all, Mini Fresh was put in the right position, and number two, they restarted the race. They had a safety marble. I mean, what is going on?
This race is a mess. It is both simultaneously my favorite, but also it has probably some of the biggest issues with it too. Like it's so polarizing, this race.
I am polarized to there needs to be more discretion on JMO. Obviously, there needs to be more preparedness. That's unbelievable. It's just like, it really goes to show that the simple things matter. I think that's the lesson that I'm taking from Marbula 1 Season 3, besides the fact that I think things are shifting in the marble world. Little things matter. I don't care how many goddamn murals you'll paint. Like I said, that mural is so good, I would put it and hang it on my wall. And I would pay $3,000 for it. It's a great mural. I don't care if people claim out the mural. They don't understand art. The mural is wonderful.
Okay, so the mural is great, but people are also complaining that they've used the same mural for the same rate, like past 4 races.
You know why? Because they probably spent 4 weeks painting that thing.
Yes, that's true, and I will defend that too. But I'm sure they also have some of the murals from other races that they have too. Like they even have one they use for the beach one once. They definitely I think something they could have done is maybe they commissioned them on the off season to make bunches of murals that have for readiness, so that way they can have multiple different ones for the whole season instead of using the same backdrop for every race.
Well, yeah, but anyway, not my point. My point was, they're spending all this time on this stuff. Look at all the stands. Look at the wonderful scene that's just I'm paused on here on the Chrome. Just all the action. This is a beautiful picture in Marble Sports. Just, all the little decorations, the little VIP seats, all the marbles in the stands, the mural in the background, the elevator, all the little Marbula 1 signs. The over stands far in the distance, so it gives more depth. This is a wonderful scene.
The weird ghost portal ?
Wait, that too.
That's what that is.
And Greg was just like,
I think that's
Greg
what
was
that
just
is.
like, God damn, I don't know, man. Basically, but this truly a wonderful scene. Truly a lot of work put in. But it doesn't matter. This falls short. This falls on deaf ears, in essence, falls on blind eyes when the little things are missed. I mean, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, why didn't you read on the race? And I'm not even able to sit here and appreciate how wonderful this course is or the scene in front of us. Because I'm like, I mean, man, like, the whole thing just ended up not making any sense. Like, the little things are important. You need to make sure that if you have a safeguard for things, the reason for the safety marble is so shit like this doesn't happen. The initial reason that they even have a safety marble is not for the fun story, is so that this doesn't happen, so that marbles in first place don't lose all the positions because they run into the 20th place marble that got stuck. That's why it's there. That's the point of it. That's the reason the safety marble was imagined in the first place. So if that doesn't work, I mean, that's a little thing that I don't care about the mural anymore, because that needs to be accounted for. If you can't, I mean, another little thing, if you can't take 5 minutes to test the track pieces you're putting on the track so that marbles can fit into them well, so that marbles can access them well, so that, I mean, they're taped down enough or they're implanted down enough that marbles don't get stuck on the lips. I mean, those aren't hard things to do. A little bit of clear tape and the marbles roll right over. It's the little things. They're ignoring them. You can't put Minty Fresh in the right position in the starting gate? I mean, count to 20. Count to 20. I'll count to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, where Mini Fresh should have been. 18, where Dash should have been. 19, 20. Shit. Okay? That's easy. That's easy stuff. You could have 7 different Merles that you switch out every other lap, and that really doesn't account for the fact that those little things are missed. And that's creating this unfortunate negativity that surrounds certain races that otherwise were wonderful. Wolf was right. This was one of the most exciting races of the season, if not the most exciting. I think Mellow Meadows is more exciting because Red Eye and Orange and Tumult were just plain magnificent in those races. But this was one of the top ones for excitement, and it falls short. It falls on blurred eyes. I want to say completely blind eyes. It was still fun to watch, but it falls on blurred eyes because of these little things. I'm sure I'm not the only one sitting here thinking this.
Dude, oh my gosh. This is going to be a very interesting episode, and I'm sure the response to this is going to be very... I don't know what the communities are thinking right now. I haven't checked the community response on this race just yet.
I don't know, but I do want to point this out. This is true. This is just true. The community dwindles every week. I mean, you can see it in the views, and you can see, and if you think it's not because of some of this stuff, I'm sure there's a person who leaves every week because they're like, man, they can't even get the safety marble going. Come on, man. It's not like an immediate thing. They're not like, oh, this one thing, but it's like over time, there's like a little thing every race this season. And the community is slowly dwindling. It's slowly going down. They still don't budge from 1.36 mil subs. Their views still don't climb because it's slowly dwindling. Because there's just all this. There's just all these little mistakes. I mean, let's imagine you're a casual viewer, right? You're a casual viewer, right? You're just trying to enjoy marble sports. You're not here for the podcasts. You're not here for the crazy fantasy teams. You're not here for much of anything besides like, oh, once a week I just like to watch this guy commentate over this craziness, right? That's what you're there for. And you don't have a lot of time in your life because you're a busy guy or girl or whatever, right? You're just busy, but you have a little bit of time. And you're like, man, this little bit of time, I just want to watch marble sports, man. Just want to watch it. All right? I just want to enjoy a nice, clean, wholesome race. You picked a marble to root for. Right? As a casual viewer, you're like, you know what? I love that blue-colored one. Or I love that orange-colored one. Just orange makes me happy. Right? You're just happy. You're just happy to root for that one marble. Right? And then you sit here through this season. And you watch race after race. And every race, and these aren't subtle things. I'm not like picking out the things subtly. Every race, you have these glaring little things that start to add up. Oh, one time here, safety marble not deployed. Oh, one time here, marble misarranged in the gate. One time here, marble's getting stuck in the booster. One time here, marble falls off the course, unaccounted for. One time here, red flag at a random time. Let's just restart. Then you're a fan of this marble, but and you get to watch it succeed and then watch it fail because of all these little things. And then you're just such a fan, like, man, If that safety marble didn't come out, my marble would have won. And you just start to get frustrated over time. Frustrated over each week when all these little things just aren't accounted for in each race. And things are just not working right. When you see marbles kind of get stuck in things that shouldn't get stuck in. And you're like, man, and especially if you're rooting for that marble, I mean, it's extra frustrating. But even if you're not, because any thinking person knows that the effect of one affects all the others. So you're sitting there and you're like, man, this person seems to just not have it together. So, you may still love the production. But your mind starts to be like, this person's seems to not, be able to catch all these little things. And then you just start to like not care as much as it seems like the creators don't care anymore. Which doesn't mean you don't want to watch anymore, but it means it's not a priority for you anymore. This was a priority for viewers 2 years ago because JMR made it a priority because everything was accounted for. There weren't mistakes. There weren't marbles. It was rare. When marbles got stuck, it was exciting because it was so rare and it was so well dealt with. And there was all this kind of what's the word for it? There's still a lot of time spent. They would release these long articles, these full rule books to deal with the one little mistake that would happen once every maybe 10 videos, because everything was accounted for, and you would be amazed as JMR accounts for things you couldn't even imagine needed accounting for before they happened. And now it's like it seems like they don't care. And so if they don't care, well, look at the viewers. They're starting to not to. And I think that factors in. You think it doesn't, but subconsciously over time, because people have busy lives and this is just one small part of their lives. So they'll care as long as they know the creator's caring. But if that starts to stop, well, so does the caring on their part. Think about that.
I'm wondering if, so part of it, obviously, part of my experience with this one is kind of tinted by the victory of Mimo and like the race there is like, but trying to put that bias aside, I'm wondering if like, I think my perspective is not so different because like maybe I'm just starting to accept them slipping up more as like I'm just expecting it. But another part of me is like, because I do this show and this is part of my enjoyment, like seeing mistakes like that, especially with things like the Muller corner, which comes from RML, which you have a great attachment to. It's like, oh, Brendan's gonna have something to say about this. I'm excited now. It's like
true.
when I'm
gonna go off a little bit.
Yeah, like this episode has like almost no role play so far. Like I feel like I've noticed the kind of thing our show has become less role play and more the analysis of the actual real life stuff. And I think this naturally drifted to that.
Well, you know why that is? I'm going to tell you why that is right now. Because the community engagement side of JMR has decreased while the mistakes have increased. The encouragement to really appreciate and dive into the pretend world of marble sports has decreased while the clear, unresolved dramas have increased. So that's caused us to focus more on Dion and what he's doing. The choices JMR makes each video and why they make them. And less on, let's really care about what Yellow Eye's feeling on the track. I mean, and some people still hold to that. But as someone who I would call myself a relatively observant person. Especially when I try, I'm a pretty observant person. I see things and I think about things. I'm always thinking like, why, right? I'm going to think about what's in my face the most. And if it's like if we're, right now the community engagement part is not very encouraged, besides of course the people who write the articles, which are wonderful, but I'm just not a big reader. But besides a few people who really religiously engage in all those articles, it's not encouraged and it's not a big deal. It's not like the new popular thing as much as it was like a few years ago, but the mistakes are in our faces. And the choices, when we go sometimes outside the videos to Dion and his, once a month bad choice, those are big. And so those are in our faces and those must be discussed. And those are the ones tickling at my mind. And sometimes I love to stop and think about Red Eye and the crazy movement he pulled off in Mellow Meadows. But right now JMR is keeping us from, they're making it harder for us to take time and look at the marbles racing and focus on the crazy things they're doing, because they're throwing things at us like, oh yeah, safety marble, we don't have that this time. What? Come on.
Yeah, and another thing I can pretty much like you pointing out like all those small errors, like how they affect the race. it's kind of actually reminding me of Eric Facette's early Algodu races, where it's like they were massive oversights in the track design, which would result in marbles going completely off course, and so they had to basically pause the simulation, drag the marble back to where they think is maybe a fair place, which it usually wasn't, which then affects the entire result of the entire season. It's like, it infuriated me so much. It's like, what are you doing? This is terrible. This ruins the whole thing. What are you doing? And I'm realizing that that's kind of actually what's happening here, which is kind of crazy, because you would think that would happen less. Heck, I don't even but with them having more experience now, it seems they're making more mistakes.
You bet. Algo Sonic Racing in our chat just says rapidly is a disgrace. Well, thanks. Thanks for getting me back on that train. Rapidly, man, not doing good either. Though I promised the duo I would hold off for at least a little bit, not yelling about that. But I will say, he better not be back next season. I mean...
Oh, they're calling you back, so apparently you said Mellow Meadows was the turning point, and this race proves it. What happened in Mellow Meadows? It's been a while.
Okay, so he's saying Mellow Meadows was a turning point, and this particular race proves it. Well, we talked about in Mellow Meadows, I'll tell you what. We talked at length in Mellow Meadows that there was this distinct... Man, can I do words? Yeah. There was a distinct possibility, right, that there was a new era of marble sports coming where it was not going to be the same 5 teams being in the same 5 spots. It was going to, not quickly necessarily, but begin to shift. And if it began to shift, if the new era was truly coming now, then Mellow Meadows would be the starting point. It shows in the standings and whatnot. Now Algo Sonic is saying here that he agrees, based on this race, he really agrees. Now, I will say, a lot of unexpected teams took up the top amount of places here. We had Mimo Mimo, I guess, is in and out, but Iceberg in there, Mocha, Cerulean, Shimmer, Yellup, usually not really a big Marbula 1 racer. Pinky Panther had their shot up there for a while. Mallard, I guess Mallard's more mainstream. But you see all those other names, Mocha, Cerulean, Mimo, Shimmer, Iceberg, those aren't, you wouldn't expect to see those in the top 5. Right? And she's making that point, there is a good presence of marbles that aren't usually top, while you have Wuspy, Rapidly, Smoggy, Orangin, all for a while, for most of the race, below, and then eventually Yellow Eye, below the top 10. And that's not characteristic of most times in marble sports, but it's happening more and more frequently. So this race supports that theory that Mellow Meadows was the beginning of the new era. Again, like I said, we will kind of see that when we get into Marble League this year. But, you can't deny that other marbles are showing that they're capable. Iceberg, wonderful race. Mimo, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mocha, really a good job. Shimmer, also good. Cerulean, also good. In fact, the Cobalts have a chance to take, not an easy one, but they do have a chance of taking overall single player racing victory championship. Single, you know what I'm saying, right? Single
a runaway victory?
No, the single racer championship. The
individual winner
championship. That's why I couldn't find it. He has a chance. I will say Orangers and Crazy Cat's Eyes, of course, again, are the only 2 who can actually win at this point. But look at the teams below. Cobalt is right there in 3rd. Shining Swarm's in 8th. Momo's in 7th. That's not bad. Gliding Glaciers in 10th. It's still a little low, but it's not really the teams that are high, it's the teams that are low. Hazers, Midnight Wisps, Savage Speeders, all under 10. All clearly in the red here. Thunderbolts, also a veteran team that is down there. Unfortunately, Pinkies is just last place again, but Pinkies are Pinkies. But to see those teams down there, you would expect Midnight Wisps to be in the top 8. You would expect Savage Speeders to be in the top 5, and that's true. You would expect Hazers to be in the top 5 as well, honestly. You would expect Thunderbolts to be in their usual about 7th or 8th place. They're not there. They're not even close. And points-wise, they're not even close. When the top 7 is way above the bottom the ones below 97 to 81, 7 to 8. I mean, that is a very uncharacteristic. Things are changing. Now, I don't know if they're changing now and if they will change, but I'm saying it looks like it's very possible. And that's what we should keep our eyes open to. And I think that's worth noting. That's basically the idea here.
Yeah, that's true. Like, it's a very interesting standings. Like, we'll see how it goes. Like, I'm just glad that it's not like, oh, the Crazy Cat's Eyes are already guaranteed to win.
They're
like,
going to
so
win. There's no way they're going to lose to your Rangers here.
We'll see. It's 11 points.
Red Eye.
It's 11 points. It's 11 points,
but
though.
Red Eye, though.
But what about the host curse, Brendan?
Don't speak to me.
You know, okay, Brendan, you know he is going to say that next week because it's the finale.
Oh, God damn you, Greg.
You know it.
Yeah, I do know that.
You know.
Yeah, he will totally say it. In fact, if he doesn't say it, I'll be very surprised. Here's the thing. Let's talk about standings. Oh, sorry, because we're actually running low on episode time, and I just hit my mic.
Oh, really?
So let's talk about standings so we can understand what's going on here. Now, okay. Here's something I can say almost for sure. Red Eye will win the individual championship. The reason I say that is because all Red Eye has to do is put up 8 points to win the individual championship. That's easy. If you think Red Eye is going to get bottom half in the final race at their own course when Red Eye is by far the best racer ever in Marbula 1, you're out of your mind. I can see Red Eye being a top 5 racer next week. Okay? I could actually say next week this time, too, because we're recording so early this time.
Yeah, finally.
But I can see Red Eye winning that. Well, not winning the race. I mean, like, winning the individual championship. Clutter, Starry, Arup, Royal. I mean, it's just hard for me to see them really being good enough and Red Eye being bad enough to give them the chance to actually win. And I just don't. And Origin, again, is not racing again. So I could see Red Eye easily overtaking and getting 93 points or more. So that's aside. Listen, obviously nothing's a guarantee, but man, my money's definitely very solidly on Red Eye. Okay, that's fine. But let's talk about the overalls, and this is where it's hard because Yellow Eye was a letdown. Yellow Eye made it really hard for Red Eye because now that it's not just they have to pick up 11 points. I think if it was picking up 11 points next race, that's not that hard for Red Eye. The difficulty here is they have to be 11 points in separation over the O'Rangers. That's hard if the O'Rangers come out strong, because all the O'Rangers have to do is basically be, even if Red Eye has the best race of his life, if the O'Rangers are not far behind, then they win, right? Because there's not that much of a difference. I will recommend, I guess, I will, pole position is 3 points. If there's a time to come out and get pole position, now's the time, Red Eye. If there is any time to come out and put 3 points up there, the 3 solid, important points, vital points, now's the time. Because you know how much easier it is to pick up 8 points over the O'Rangers than 11? Because if you only have to pick up 8, then you could be in first with them in fourth and win. If you have to pick up 11, you have to be in first and they have to be as far down as 7th, 8th. Right? So you need to pick up those 3 pole position points. If there's anything Red Eye should be really clawing for, it's clawing, meow, cats. It's that pole position. Fastest lap, I find, obviously in one sense it's not, but I find it kind of RNG, to be honest, because like sometimes fastest lap does not even go to anywhere near the best racer or the winning racer. It's just kind of like, it's whoever has a really good lap. I mean, it's a wonderful 1 point, but I mean, it's hard for me to say, oh, make sure you get that, because I feel like that one's hard to kind of ensure, because it's so hard out there when you're facing all the other marbles and focusing on where they're at. I mean, sometimes it's even better not to have a fastest lap and just kind of really be solid on your defensive driving or something. So I don't really know about that one, but the pole position needs to be strong. I think if Red Eye picks up the pole position, it is a very, very likely Crazy Cat's Eye win. If Red Eye cannot pick up that said pole position, then it's up in the air for the overall. I would like to see the Crazy Cat's Eyes win because I want to see a Marble League team repeat champion, a consecutive repeat. I know Red Eye's done it. We did talk about how the Cobalts doesn't count. Showdown doesn't count as a championship.
Right.
Which again, whatever, but we won't go into that. Red number 3 does, but a team has not done this yet. A real Marble League, bona fide Marble League 16 millimeter team has not done this yet. I wish I said in that commentary that it was the first 16 millimeter marble to do it, because that would have been based. But whatever.
Oh well.
Yeah, can't go change history. How there'll always be that one comment of a guy saying, "Oh, this commentary guy doesn't know his stuff," Well, okay.
For the rest of the time.
Yeah. Whatever. But I will say, I would love to see it. I would be happy. I love the Crazy Cat's Eyes in general. I'm a big Cats guy, so this is good. But it's going to be a hard race. It's going to be separation. Yeah. Red Eye has to be aware of where the Orangers are at all times, because that's going to affect how he races. Because he has to kind of throw a lot of Hail Marys here in the final race. Because if he's cruising in first, let's say, and Orangers are in second, it's not in Red Eye's best interest to just stay in first. As the race comes to an end, Red Eye needs to do something weird, like drop back and start hitting the Orangers marble around a little bit, just to try to cause maybe some delay that will allow a few passing marbles. And that strategy is always ill-advised, except for now, and except for, I guess, racers as good as Red Eye, because normally you really don't want to put yourself in a position to lose places. But Red Eye doesn't have any other choice. First place is not good enough if the Orangers are right there. So, I mean, I would fall over dead and rate 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. If we have a race where Red Eye and Orangers are at the top, Red Eye slows down, drops back, knocks the Orangers away, makes them get delayed, loses a few places, and then crosses the line to win with enough points. I would literally freak out in my own home. That would be by far the best race I've ever seen in my life if that kind of course awareness was demonstrated and that situation occurred. That would be a by far 11 out of 10. I don't even care what the course looks like. That would be the coolest end to any Marbula 1, to any race ever, to see that kind of maneuver to ensure not just a win, but to ensure a points gap. Blow me away.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Speaking of ratings, we didn't rate this track. It looks kind of cool, but some of the elements like the ghost portal, are kind of questionable and make you scratch your head. Then there's also the giant towers, which again look cool, but what are they really there for? The light in the tunnel was nice. The bridge's siding was aesthetically pleasing. The race I thought was good, but there's also a lot of oversights. I'm more positive. I will say 8 out of 10.
All right. For me, I don't like the choices made. I really like the course, and I liked the excitement of the course. I think the course is a solid one, too. The glass bridge and the tunnel are good features. They really round out the necessary features of the course. I think the course is well made. I think most of the things are used well. But again, I don't like how they do the Muller corners, and I think the choices made for the Mini Maniac situation was really, really bad. Really bad. So this is, as much as I want to give this one a 9 out of 10, I'm giving this a 5 out of 10, because I really do not appreciate how JMR handled that. It really changed the outcome of this season. It did. Who knows where Orangin and Yellow Eye would have finished if that was a different situation? If they didn't have that issue, you don't know. You could say you know, you don't.
I said that. I know, but I even said earlier. We don't even know if we had a close race if it didn't happen. That's the thing. We don't. Marbles roll differently every time.
Yeah, I know, but
them.
So
things in the same spot.
Be done appropriately. That was a bad decision. Giving it a 5 out of 10. I think that it could have been very different. But I will say props to Orangin for working his way up from 17th all the way up to 8th or something, wherever he finished. He did jump up a good 10 places though by the end of the race, and he was really far down at one point, and I will give him credit for that. And Yellow Eye did the opposite. He was chilling in 7th and then lost it all by the end. So well done, Orangin. If the Crazy Cat's Eyes lose this week, if Orangers come out on top, it is because of Orangen's ability to not give up, and also to see that every point really did matter. And he saw that, and he made sure he clawed his way to a place that at least gave him enough of a gap. Well done, Orangen. With that, I'm done. So, Waff, anything else? If not, take us out.
I guess third place is something that's in contention still. Momo is statistically possible to get it, but I honestly kind of think I want Balls of Chaos to win it more, because they've already shown that they've redeemed themselves from MX, but a lot of fans aren't going to really see it that way unless they're on that podium. So I kind of think that the Balls of Chaos should get that last podium spot, just to say, yeah, definitively, we have made up for our MX performance.
And it's not even that hard for them to do that.
It's 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy for the Balls of Chaos to stay ahead of Green Ducks and Momo. A little difficult for them to stay ahead of Galactic, but I trust in that, because Galactic's just going to get fifth.
Galactic's in fifth,
so they're always going to get fifth.
They want to stay there.
I don't think Balls of Chaos has any worries there. So, and in Cobalts, I mean, if they can just really focus on the Cobalts, then I think they can pull off third, and that would be wonderful, because to see Balls of Chaos on the podium, we can say definitively that they are an improving team, a up and coming team. I know they've been a veteran team, but they're kind of been an undergrounder kind of team, so they're really improving. So something, I hit my mic again, something to really think about. So I'm excited for them. I root for them here in the end.
Agreed. But yeah, that's all I really have. So I think we'll wrap it up here then.
In that case, I mean, that will do it. Man, I'm excited for this coming week. Good luck to the Crazy Cat's Eyes. I'm wishing for them. I will be watching this last race extremely close, because I'll be rooting for the Cat's Eyes, and I'll be rooting for the gap, the points gap finish of a lifetime. I really want to see. I know it's a lot to ask for that perfect kind of wonderful moment at the end where Cat's Eyes is in first, sees that he needs to create a bigger gap with the Rangers, and goes back and does something insane. But, you know, if just something exciting where the Cat's Eyes can kind of push their way to the victory at like Mount Meow or whatever it is, Meowton, that would be perfect. You know what I'm saying? Waff, take us out.
Roll on, Marble Sports fans.